Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back. Welcome to Real Macroeconomics and Investing. Welcome to TradingView, YouTube, and my subscribers. How you guys doing? Let's get started with this week's video. First of all, I want to thank the editors of TradingView for picking my chart on PayPal. Really, really cool of them, and I'll tell you why. It's not because they picked my beautiful chart. Of course they would. Just kidding. It's the fact that I don't pay. I'm not a premium subscriber. And the reason I'm not is because the way I do my analysis, I don't need it. In fact, it confuses me if I have more things to put on the chart. So I try to keep things as simple as possible, and this is more than enough for me. Um, so the fact that they picked some guy, who doesn't pay them, I think it speaks volume about them that they care about the content uh, more so than money. And that's really, really super cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Uh, I, I don't know what to say, honestly. Thank you. All right. So since we're on PayPal, you know, great company. Great company. Apple is a great company. CRM is a great company. Okay. There's a lot of great companies. Doesn't mean they don't correct. Okay. Uh, you're not going to have a very long career if you're trying to always short these great companies. You're not going to be very successful, believe me. But once in a while, you got to do it because the chart is a chart. Okay. Um, so this to me looks like more downside. How much? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I do know a structure when I see one. Okay. And you have the compass. You have a thrust down move. Okay. Correction, and then ultimately resolves to the downside. Somebody asked me, well, why didn't you expand? Because there was a little bit of price breach here. Look, I'm not a support resistance guy. I don't worry about these things. There's a certain criteria that I particularly need in order for me to move the bottom trend line, and it did not meet it. Okay, it just didn't meet it. So the the bottom trend line remains as per bare knuckle charting. BKC remains where it is until otherwise something changes. Sure enough, price did drop. Okay, so we need to see follow through now. Right? We need to see follow through this week. Uh, Overall, the market, okay. Remember, back here, I didn't like the way price moved up. I said I'm not convinced, and I was back on December 7th. You had several attempts to get through here. That didn't happen. It dropped. It popped in a very vicious manner. Remember, a lot of these vicious moves, they're there to provoke emotion. They're there to trick you. So you got to be really careful with them. And I said, look, this doesn't look normal to me. I'm not convinced. And sure enough, since then, it hasn't really done what people thought it was going to do, that it was going to go much higher. In fact, it went lower. Okay. So for now, we got to, oops. For now, look, it broke. Okay. It didn't break the area. Again, I'm not a support resistance guy. A tick falling through a line doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot to me. It's an area that I care about, and the area hasn't broken. Okay. It hasn't bounced either. Okay. So it's building pressure down here. Right. It's building pressure. Uh, Again, the bias, so long as it remains within this channel, is up, but it's looking very weak to me. And I think from a risk reward standpoint, that a short is for me, is appropriate. Okay. Now, of course, as soon as I posted it, the very next day, the market went straight up. That's a given. That always happens. Don't worry about that. But it did come back down. Okay. So the new cool thing now, what's going on in the markets is every time the market opens, just short it. It's much much different than it was a few months ago, where every day just kept gapping up, gapping up, gapping up. So that in itself should tell you that the market is not behaving properly. Okay. S&P 500. Why did I show you a 1929 chart? Okay. The reason I show it is for you. I want you to consider the possibility that this could be an Eiffel Tower. Okay. Uh, Look at it. And I know if you move a chart, you can always make it look like a hockey stick, blah blah blah. But let's be honest here. This is not one of those times. Okay, stock market is going up vertically. If I was, again, I made a video about this. If I was the market, the way I would apply the maximum amount of pain to the maximum amount of people is I would just rip it down. I would, all those people that have been trained habitually to go out and buy the dip for years now, okay, years, over a decade. Uh, the way I would destroy them was I would just rip it down and keep ripping it down, and they would try to dollar cost average first, blow out their account, then they would go even lower, then they would put more money because this got to be the bottom. Do the same thing, blow out their account again, go even lower. Now they're going to say, well, now this really has to be the bottom. Go out, put more money in, blow that account out, and repeat as necessary until you have turned every single person on the planet into a stock hater. And then and only then would it be the right time to go buy. That's the way I would do it. Okay, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. Don't go out and say, oh, Nick says the market is going to crash. All I'm asking is that you consider it. You consider the possibility. It's not a probability. You consider the possibility because it'll kind of put your mind in a framework where you start to assess risk once again. And I think that there's a lot of people that really are not associating uh, the amount of risk they're taking on each time they buy. Okay, and that it's not clicking. All right, sorry, I can't pause it. I wish there was a pause button. So we talked about PayPal, SPX, Nasdaq, dollar. Dollar very strange, right? Broke. Interest rates are rising, and the dollar is breaking an uptrend channel. That's very interesting. I guess I don't know. They want a lot higher interest rates faster, and they're not getting it, so people are starting to sell it. Now remember, the meme, the soundbite is dollar up, commodities down. It's not the case this time around. It's dollar up, commodities up. So one of them is wrong, right? According to the meme. So is it the dollar that's wrong? I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out this week. And again, note that this is a magnet, this trend line. It broke, came up, it's testing it. Let's see if this holds and continues down. All right. Interesting week. Where's there it is. Shiba. Okay. False breakout. Same thing again. Somebody tried to have a discussion with me about it was a breakout. It was no. This is not a breakout. This is not a breakout. Okay. This is an expansion. Keeps expanding the channel. That's very normal. The longer it stays in that channel, the more likely that it's going to be an expansion of the channel. Um, like I told him or her, when the breakout does come, we're not going to be discussing if it's a breakout or not. It's going to be very self-evident. Nobody's going to be arguing it's a breakout. All right. So the fact that we do have to discuss if it's a breakout or not, it's not. That's what I would say. What else? All right. The Trump stock. Right. Don't laugh. It's experimental. Yeah. Well, uh, experimental or not, I said buy at 40, and we were up 84% since then. Right. Literally, it didn't go much lower. Up 84%. Right. So that's very good. That's a very good uh, return on investment if it would just move. Right. So up 84%. Now, as long as it stays in this uptrend here, you can hold it, but once it breaks, take profits, please. Don't be a pig. It can go up 500%. Don't care. Take profits. JetBlue Airlines. This is, I don't know why people even argue with me. Look, from a risk reward standpoint, this, okay, is likely to go down. That's it. You think it's bullish? Go buy it. Don't care. you're not going to pay me. right, from your profits. So, and I'm not going to pay you if you lose. So I don't care what you do. Airlines are grossly overvalued. Grossly overvalued. And I showed you this before, going back, I think, what, December 28th or something? Right, December 28th. Look, okay, airfares are in the gutter. So you got rising interest rates, more debt. So you got to pay a lot more interest rates or more debt. Jet fuel is going up, and you got unit labor costs rising. In an industry that is very capital intensive, that has no pricing power, even if price were to rise, average fare to this area, you have so much more cost to deal with, and you don't have the pricing power. And you can sit here and tell me, well, you can put an ass in the seat. Look, it's 85% of what it was pre-COVID. It's got nothing to do with that. I can always put an ass in the seat, but I can't put an ass in the seat that's going to make me money. I need pricing power. Sorry, pricing power. We don't have it. So why are stock prices for airlines as high as they are? Doesn't make sense. Okay, price is what you pay, value is what you get. You're not getting a whole lot of value. So, uh, you know, I don't know why this is red. It should be green because I shorted it. It's short. Habibi, it's short. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, sure enough, airlines have fallen. And if you go back, the call was actually made. Uh, get rid of this. The call was actually made back in April. This is kind of like an update chart, but the call was made back in April. I said, look, you got a head and shoulders. This thing is likely to go lower. And sure enough, it did. It's about 30% lower from when I posted this chart back on April 20th. All right. Boom. There you go. Magic, as I call it. Somebody made a comment, well, you can't make money trading patterns. Well, you can't. Whatever. I don't tell you how to do things. Don't tell me how to do things. Anyway, so yeah, so the call was made a while back. It's just a continuation. It's down more than 30%. So anyway, JetBlue, look for this one to break down, right? What else? What else do we have? Finally, game. Believe me, years from now, just like we talk about the .com, like, oh my God, people were running out buying companies that made no money, right? We make fun of that. Well, guess what? We're going to be making fun of the meme stocks years from now in this incredible stock market bubble that we're in. We're going to say to ourselves, like, wow, didn't people figure out that you shouldn't be taking trading advice off of Reddit? We'll be like, yeah, aren't they dumb? So it's history in the making, and I'm glad that I was able to warn people about it at key areas. And if you go back in time, okay, the first call was back in here, February 2nd of 2021, almost a year ago. I said, look, this is a classic BKC topping pattern. Okay, classic. And sure enough, it dropped about 90%. It went from $400 all the way down to like 38. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. And then you got the dead cat bounce. All right, fair enough. All right. Uh, and then we got another bigger topping pattern, double top. And I warned about that, and that was back in March 10th. And sure enough, it has failed since then. Today, I think it's 113. Now, remember, prices were about 268 when I posted this chart. Okay, and it's 113 today. It's a very big move. All right, this is not the only one, by the way. Look at AMC, look at Tilray, look at you go back on my diary, you're gonna find a lot of these meme stocks really, really worked out well. Okay, and this guy, remember this guy? Ooh, it was for me. I like this stock. Well, good luck to you. A lot of trolls with GameStop. Finally, what's wrong with this picture? You got public debt, corporate profits, and labor force participation. How can corporate profits be running high when there's a smaller labor force? When we were in lockdowns, people were not making money. Magic. It's magic, is what it is. Right? It's not the way it usually works. You usually need to have to improve your corporate profits. You usually need people to go out, work, make a paycheck, go out and consume, and then your revenue and profits are going to rise. So, what's wrong with this picture? I don't know. You tell me. It doesn't look right to me. Okay. So, you know, you can't. Sometimes, when you see something sticking out like a sore thumb, you can't overlook it and just say, well, you know, don't worry about it. No, you got to worry about it. May not hurt today, but you got to be aware of it. So that's it for this video. I want to thank everybody. Again, thank you very much to TradingView for posting my chart. Very, very cool of you guys. Thank you to the new guys that are following me. It's very super cool. I hope I can provide good content for TradingView and for you guys. But at the end of the day, this is my public diary, not my private, my public one. Go through it. It's not just one chart that I'm posting. Okay, it's a theme that I'm looking at. So I hope you find it useful. Okay. Uh, Thank you very much. Have a great trading week, and I'll talk to you guys next week. All right. Bye bye.